Hi, y'all, and welcome to Witchy Shit and Manga Lit with Rawiyah, Tariq, and Cardivis. We are back to our regular schedule and so happy to be back to our regular schedule. And this week we're talking about, I don't know, it's going to be a surprise to me too. Uh, Carta, what are we talking about this week?
So this week we are going to talk about media and mental health. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so we're going to talk about the depictions of mental health in media as well as how media can affect your mental health both positively and negatively.
mm-hmm,
And if we have time, we're also going to get into the weeds a little bit with Discordianism because
mm-hmm.
it's a fun and interesting topic and one that we didn't really delve into too hard the last time we were talking about different um, types of witchery, as it were.
Awesome. Okay, cool. That sounds like, I was about to say that sounds like fun, but it sounds like fun and also sounds intense and it sounds like it sounds like it's gonna be good. I can't wait to hear what we say.
I
But
probably
first,
should have told you beforehand so you had time to prepare, but at the same time, we rarely stick to any kind of uh,
mhm,
thing other than general topic. And I figured those topics were
mhm,
both juicy enough that we'd have plenty to say, so it'd be fine.
yes, yes.
Meaty,
So
hefty,
how are you? Thicker than a Snickers.
thick.
There we go. So how are you doing?
I have kind of been a train wreck this week. I'm going to be honest. I've been staying up till basically 3 a.m. every night and getting up at 9 for work, and my body's
Mm,
been mad about it. So,
well,
last
yeah.
last night, actually yesterday, I had a fever all day. My heart rate was through the roof, and I had a headache for like 6 hours. I had to take headache
Oh
medicine for
no.
it. Yeah, it sucked a lot. And I had to take a nap. That's how bad it was. But I still
Mhm.
managed to get drawing done, so I'm proud of myself for doing what I enjoy despite not feeling well. Other than that, yeah, it's just been kind of it's been a little bit of a struggle, but I'm okay otherwise. Like my mental health is good. It's just my physical health that's dragging me down right now. You know how it goes.
I know how it goes. I definitely know how it goes. I'm sorry you're dealing with all that. I started to get a little bit of insomnia too, and I just chalked it up to anxiety, but maybe something going on astrologically that's like causing this. Because one of my other friends is having insomnia as well. So it's like just staying up like super late. And I know sometimes you are a night owl.
Yeah.
I used to be a night owl. Sickness and chronic illness has made me like not be a night owl anymore or a day bird, whatever it's called, or early bird. Like I'm somewhere in the middle. Like
Mhm.
I need to sleep 10 hours or else I'm trash the next day.
Got it. Yeah, like I want to sleep for a longer amount of time, but even when I go to bed early, I end up waking up early. Like my body's like, "Bitch, you get 6 hours, that's it." And I'm like, Why?
No.
Give me more." Even last night. So last night I was planning on going to bed early. I even like cut off the call with Ron at like 2 a.m. I'm like, "I'm gonna go to bed at a decent time. 2 a.m. I'm just gonna read this one comic and then I'm going to bed." And I crawled into bed at 4:30 because why?
Wow.
And then I woke up at 10 on my own. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, "Body, why? Why?"
I think I was also sending you Instagram reels all night
Oh,
last night, and
we
I
were
didn't see that you were responding with
I
reels too.
was. We were like back and forthing reels at like 2:30 in the morning. Oh my god. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just in my gremlin phase. That's what I've decided.
See you, gremlin face.
I should not be eating after midnight or I'm going to stay up till 4 in the morning and like multiply and wreck the house. You know how it goes.
I know how it goes. I know how it goes. See, on my end, I've been dealing with a lot of like crippling anxiety. My
Mm.
anxiety has been like I've just been chilling, sitting down, and an anxious, intrusive thought will be like, "You're gonna die now," and it's like, come on, come on. Like, I can't drive myself because of my
Mhm.
anxiety right now. I try to get help through my psychiatrist, but she is off on vacation. I've had this anxiety for about almost a month now. And my psychiatrist is on vacation but hasn't named anyone to take over her cases. So I've been calling yeah, no, I've been calling to be like, I need help. And they're like, well, come into the emergency mental health ward. And
Mhm.
I'm like, if I go there, they're not going to help me because I'm not
No.
suicidal.
Right.
Like, I'm just anxious and tired of being anxious. Um, this it's like debilitating anxiety.
Yeah.
So that's been happening. My knee went out. My knee, I told someone my knee went out for a carton of milk and never came back, just like my dad. Um, and so it's starting to come back into alignment, but this as well has been over a month of dealing with this, and trying to find a knee brace that fits my body and then stays up has been a thing, and icing and not being on it and not having my mobility, which I was just starting to build back up again. But I got a new doctor and we're going to be doing physical therapy for the knee
Oh,
and
good.
also physical therapy for my mobility, which I'm excited about. Um, and what else? Yeah, just the anxiety, the intrusive thoughts. Um, I got the first part of the book handed in for edits. I'm working on the second part.
Ooh.
And also, I think I have it here. If anybody's like watching this over YouTube, I just got a poem published in a journal called Feminist Formations.
Ooh.
So yeah, one of my
Neat.
poems appears in this book, which is super cool. It's a special issue on decolonial feminism's engagement, practice, and action. So yeah, I'm in a section called decolonial decolonial transgressions and agency. So my poem is about agency and using no. So yeah, so that happens. And yeah, aside from that, I've been an anxious ball of writing, and like I've been between writing and like, oh great, writing, and then trying to disappear into my bed. It's been with breaks for Stardew Valley on my phone. Like I'm still in year 1 on my phone. Like I'm doing good shit. It's great. Like I'm planting things. It's in winter, but I'm planting winter roots, and I have some cave bats. I regret the bats. I regret the bats. I should have got a mushroom cave instead of a bat
The
cave.
bats were a
The bat
bad choice.
the bats were a bad choice. They're supposed to be bringing me fruit. Them lazy bastards, they ain't bringing me shit. So now I gotta plant an orchard. So, and some bitch was like, I want 12 bottles of beer from you. And it takes like 3 days to make one bottle of beer. And she's like, have it done in 7. And I'm like, do I look like Scotty? Does this look like the fucking Enterprise you have her? So that's
Do you
what
not
I'm
know how
doing.
math works?
Am I supposed to have 12 kegs running at a time? Ain't nobody got time for that shit. So yeah, that's what I'm up to, and that's how I'm doing.
Yeah. I have been
I'm floundering, but my farm is doing well.
my farm is thriving. I hate it when, like, you're fighting with your brain because, like, you you logically know what's happening and you're like, "Brain, get it together. I'm so annoyed right now that I feel
Mhm.
like this, that I feel
Yes.
like this." And, ugh, I hate that so much. I hate that for
It's
you.
super
You're
annoying
going through it.
because you know what's wrong, you know what's causing it, and yet you can't stop it. The only thing that's been able to break through the "you're gonna die right now" is June Cook's 7 Days. Get up for dance.
Nice. Yeah.
So it's like you're gonna die Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 7 days. I'll be fucking you right. Like that's the only thing that has been able to disrupt that groove.
Cookie, making peace for everybody's brain in
Yep,
juicy
yep,
ways.
yep. And I watched not the dance music video. I watched the dance
Mhm.
music video and I was like, this is cool. It's cute. It's cute. But what really got me was the other official music video where
Mhm.
this motherfucker, like, I have to watch it again because I'm like, he's on some Gojo energy. He's on some Gojo energy. He is just like, hey, hey girl, like the whole world is falling apart around him and he's like, I just want to be in that ass. I just like the
Just
restaurant is
bring
having
in the
an earthquake.
chaos.
The laundry room is filling with water. Like there's like fireballs and Molotovs going off in the street, and he's just singing to this girl. It's like when Michael Jackson did that number, "The Way You Make Me
Oh,
Feel."
yeah.
How he was pursuing that chick.
Mhm.
Dude is pursuing this chick hard, hard. I tell you, HARDT. He's like, I'm gonna get laid. Can we also take a moment? I know I'm like taking a bit of time, but
No,
before
do
we
it.
get into the big topics, can we also take a moment to recognize how no one was surprised when the US government said there's aliens?
Literally no one. We were all just like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
we knew that. We knew you were hiding it." And
Yeah.
at this point, since everything's on fire, I really don't care.
Yeah.
Like, are they here to save us? Are they here to save us? That's what I
Are
wanna
they gonna
know.
pay my rent?
Are they gonna
Are they
take
gonna
me
take care
away so I don't have to worry about the bullshit that's happening here? If not, then
are,
how does it affect me?
are they gonna give me a cure for my chronic illnesses?
Right,
Like
yeah.
what's gonna happen? Like, and then other people are like, well, why are they telling us now? Is it because they're trying to distract us from something? Or are the aliens on the move in a major way and like some kind of contract is up and they're trying to
I
prepare
hope it's
us?
the second one. I hope the aliens are coming. We're gonna see them in the sky like, "Hey, you're ours now." Okay, cool.
Okay,
Well,
cool. You gotta be
you
better than the
can't be any
government we
worse
have
than
right
what we
now.
got, yeah.
Oh my god, don't say that thing. Oh,
We got some
oh
Skynet
my god.
bullshit coming down.
Hmm.
The
Oh my
aliens are here
god.
like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, so I see what you're doing with that AI shit, and you gotta cut it out. We've
Hmm.
been there, done that, it's not cool."
There's this song that I love called Earth is a Ghetto.
Mm.
Earth is a ghetto. I wanna leave. Earth is a ghetto. Come and get me. It's something like she's like, I'm standing on a corner, the one on 15th. I got a bright shirt on. You can't miss me. Like the lyrics
Yeah.
are perfect. It's like Earth is a ghetto. I want to leave. I know Erica Badu is hella happy because she's been trying to get abducted by aliens since she was a baby. So,
Look, we just gotta negotiate with them so they'll at least abduct us into the same people farm so we can hang out while we're doing
oh my
whatever they
god.
need us to do as people.
Oh my god. I hope they like I hope they're like, you know what? Y'all need help and we're here to help you. Just like wouldn't it be something they're like, we're here to help you, but you got to worship our God? Like, I think there's some people on this planet that can like be like, oh, this is what colonialism,
Oh, so that's what
this is
that
what
feels like.
colonialism feels like. And watch, they're gonna be so upset. They're gonna be out in the street protesting, just like they were
Yeah.
protesting having to wear a mask. They're like, you're infringing upon my rights, and the rest of us will be like,
Mm.
this is we're used to.
Oh,
We're used
oh,
to
oh,
it.
oh, 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 word? That's what they're doing?
Join the club. Join the club, kids.
Never seen that before. Not like that
Mhm,
happens all the
mhm.
time every day. Oh, wait, no, you're just
Yep.
mad because it's happening to you now. I see, I see, I see, I
To
see, I see.
you, exactly. See, I was very, very tickled by the fact that the United States government is like, hey, we can confirm that we have alien bodies and spaceships and the pilots and all this other stuff. And I'm just like,
But they've been confirming it for like 3 years and no one has paid
Mhm.
attention because literally everything's on fire. It's like, "Okay, great.
Mhm.
What does that mean for us? Does that mean they're gonna come attack us
Mhm.
because you're, like, holding bodies hostage? Because that's what it sounds like to me. Oh, well." Like, literally
Mhm.
just went, "Oh, well, okay. That's cool. We'll see what happens."
We'll figure it out.
I mean, honestly, if anything happens in the next 20 years, I will be surprised because they've been hiding
Listen,
those bodies for fucking ever.
I'm surprised if we gonna be here in 20 years of what fuck shit they got going on. Like
Fair.
not the aliens, Congress. I'm just
Right.
saying our own between our politics and climate change. I am too. I'm like, oh no. And I wanted to leave the Bay Area and move to New Orleans, but they
Mhm.
got hurricanes and tornadoes now.
Yeah, they got
New
everything.
Orleans has fucking tornadoes. I can't deal with tornadoes. There's no way.
Honestly, tornadoes are easier than hurricanes, I feel.
Okay, here's why tornadoes are a bad deal in New Orleans though. You can't go underground.
Oh, shit, yeah, it's underwater.
Yeah, there's no
That's true. There's no
basements in
basements.
New Orleans.
I'm used to the Midwest. Everybody got basements here.
It's just you and your fucking tub
Well, I mean, I guess you'll be
and a
Dorothy and in the
prayer.
tub. Out there. Do, 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 do.
It's you, the tub, your mattress, and whatever god you worship. Like that
That
is
is the
it.
way to put it. Um,
That is it.
yeah, like, plus this heat wave, the fact that they're like, "Yeah, this heat wave is gonna be normal from now on." It's like, "Why? Why is it gonna
Mhm.
be normal from now on? Why are you saying that's
Mhm.
okay? It's not okay."
Yeah,
We are literally
it's
on
not
fire right
okay.
now.
We are literally on fire. We are literally, and this reminds me of this song that used to be sung when I was in high school. Like I was part of the choir, and it was a gospel choir. Being in the South in a Catholic school, but an all black Catholic school, it was gospel. And there was
Mhm.
one song that was like, God's gonna set this world on fire. Yes, 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 God's gonna set this world on fire one of these days. Hallelujah. And that song was always like, why are you happy about it? Like,
Right.
why is this a celebration? They're like, God's gonna set the world on fire. We're gonna feast at the welcome table. And I'm like, can we not set the world on fire, bitch? Can we not? Can we not? Um, so yeah, the world is on fire. Hopefully we don't get fire season. I can't believe like it's a thing. There's a fire season. We call it fire season in California.
Yeah.
Um, it falls right before winter and Shenyang season. Um, it's fire season. We are in fire season right now in California. But hopefully all that rain we got earlier helps. But yeah, it sucks. So people, if you're out there listening, vote for your lawmakers. I know everybody comes out and votes for like president and stuff like that, but vote for people who are writing the
Yeah.
legislative laws and stuff like that.
I think we
Like,
have an election coming up on the 8th of August.
oh
This won't
good.
air by then, but it's something I'm keeping an eye on because we have a law here in Ohio that is basically proposing that people don't need to vote for things anymore and the legislative body can just do whatever the fuck they want. So we have to
Are
vote
you
no on.
fucking kidding me?
Yeah, so we have to vote no
That's
on that
on
as
some
hard as
fascist
possible.
shit.
Yes, I know. So we have to vote no as hard as humanly possible to ensure that that does not happen. So yeah, it's it's a thing. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah.
my
Yeah.
god.
So I already have plans to take like a half day from work to make sure I can go stand in line at wherever they tell me I can go vote at.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh. Ooh, between the laws that are being made right now about people's bodies, um, um, about sexuality, about gender and gender nonconforming folks and trans folks, like It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what happened?
Mhm.
Like, and the thing is we've always been on this trajectory.
Yeah.
We've always been on this trajectory, and um, it doesn't help my anxiety.
No, it
World, it
doesn't.
doesn't help my anxiety.
I'm
There
I'm
are,
sure a lot of the mental issues going on right now are definitely situational with the fact of everything that's happening in the country
mhm.
and the lack of power to stop any of it on a personal level, you know?
Yeah, we have to come together as groups, as a because
Mhm.
one
Yeah.
person is not enough, and then one person starts to feel hopeless, and then there's a cognitive dissonance of the people who are fighting, the few and far between, who are fighting loudly, and they're like, "Where's everyone else? Don't they see that this is a thing?" And so they
Yeah.
get worn out. But I have so many. I have two friends, two black disabled femmes, three, three now, who are facing homelessness.
Wow.
Um, yeah, three. I have three friends who are facing homelessness right now, in very real ways, and not like, oh, my rent might be late or whatever. No, they don't have places to live, and it's because of the economy we're in. It's not because they haven't been looking for jobs or they're not
Mhm.
able to. Some of them is because of the economy we're in. Others are because of the social economic status, like just from the just being black healers and witches and shit like that, and also mental health. How most people who are, I feel like people who are deeply spiritual can sometimes have trouble functioning in society according to the rules that society makes, because they don't make any fucking sense
They
to
don't, yeah.
anyone.
Mhm.
They don't make sense. And so trying to survive in a system that you know doesn't make sense and is actively trying to harm you is on some fuck shit. So there's trying to find jobs, there's trying to find mental health help that isn't coming. Like, I'm dependent on the county. I'm on Medi-Cal because I'm broke. Um like, really broke. Like, if it wasn't for Bertha and Michelle, I'd be facing houselessness too. Um but yeah, and it's hard. It's hard. But with that said, I do have some good news for myself.
Oh, good.
Also, if you're interested in these fundraisers, I have the fundraisers all linked on my link tree. Just go to Rawiyah Tariq link tree, and you could contribute to, like, these black chronically ill and disabled femmes who are trying to secure housing and medical costs. Um,
And make sure to put that in the description for things.
I will. I'll put that in the
Yeah.
description. Uh, the next thing that's been happening for me is I have been, and by the time this episode airs, everybody's going to know, but I have been asked to become the artistic director of Queer Cat Productions.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
'Cause they were the ones that did the movie for you, right? With the play last
Yes.
year. Cool,
Yep.
cool. That's
So that's
awesome.
going to be happening. And the two people who were in lead of it are, one of them is stepping away, and the other one wants to step away as well, but later. We have this huge production plan for 2024, which I'm super excited about. But afterwards, they will be stepping away, which means Queer Cat Productions would be mine.
Nice.
So, yeah, wild.
That's pretty
Um,
intense.
it is pretty intense. It is pretty intense. It is pretty intense. But yeah, I feel like I'm up for it.
Cool, cool.
Put on my big queer panties and be like, I'm up for it. So that's me. Check.
Cool. I'm still in this aliens thing because I can just imagine the
Yeah.
aliens coming down and be like, "Look at you. You wrecked a perfectly good planet. It has anxiety now."
Yes.
Ah, well, we'll see. I'm in one of those wait and see how it go moods with, like, life. Just like, I'm just gonna keep doing
Right?
stuff and see what happens. I've been commissioning art from people, and I have an appointment for a
Mm.
tattoo, hopefully. She gave me times and I
Oh,
selected
wow.
the 18th at 5 p.m. So hopefully I can get my
Mhm.
tattoo refreshed because I've had this tattoo for like 15 years and it's still pretty vibrant considering how old it is. Like the yellow's still there, which is apparently a
Uh-huh.
thing that doesn't happen often. Um, but it's because I never go outside. So it hasn't had time to get faded by the sun. Because
Yo,
I'm
I
a
have one
vampire.
on my hip. I have one on my hip that has purples and pinks and colors. And to do colors on melanated skin, it fades like fast.
Mhm.
But it's on my hip, and I as well do not go outside.
You're
So,
like, "Vibrance, haha." Yeah, no, but I wanted to get the Tsubasa done a bit more brushwork like, and then I wanted to get Toski on the
mhm.
top and, Kerbero sweeping in underneath, and she messaged me back and was like, "Yeah, I'd love to do this tattoo." I'm like, "Freaking sweet." So,
Hey.
I'm pretty hyped about that. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, so on watching, listening, reading this week, the things I wanna highlight are so we finished the How Not to Summon a Demon King or yeah. God, that show is just porn. It's just hentai basically. It's hentai without being hentai. Like, because for real, bro, like, summons the demon lord into existence by fingering a girl
Well,
magically.
well, the great right and all that.
uh, yeah. And things do not get better in the second season. It just keeps
Mm.
going just like that. But it was very amusing. And then we also watched Chillin' in My 30s after getting fired from the Demon King's army. And yes, that is the entire title of the show.
Wow.
This it was honestly a really laid back show considering that like it had a plot of the world almost ending. It was still really chill though. I found it
Mhm.
incredibly relaxing, so that was good. I'm trying to think. I haven't really watched much on my Oh, no, I did. I watched a movie on my own called something
Mhm.
like The Brave Dad and Our Journey into Final Fantasy 14, and it was adorable. Like, it had me crying
Oh.
because it was
Mhm.
about this guy who, his dad, retired and then, like, they weren't close at all, so he got his dad a copy
Mhm.
of Final Fantasy 14, which he played in the hopes of, like, meeting him in game and getting to know him better, because when
Mhm.
he was a kid, they used to play video games together, but then his dad started, like, only concentrating on work, and they, like, lost touch kind of. So he was
Mhm.
like, "This is an opportunity to get to know my dad," and it was really cute watching them interact and his dad, like, learning how to use emojis and, like, his character being, like,
Aw.
super cute. It was adorable. It was super adorable, but, like, yeah, it had me crying 'cause of what it is.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know? It's one of those, like, emotional, get to know the family type of things, and then I haven't been reading as much lately because I've been drawing as if my life depends on it, and I don't know why, but, like, I'm obsessed with
Mhm.
doing art now, so that's fun, but it's, like, limited what I've been reading as of late, which is also fine, but the one that I wanted to highlight from there was a comic called God, I can never get the name right, but it's something like here, I'm gonna look it up really quick because I'm never gonna remember. Just here we go. It is called May I Ask for One Final Thing? And basically it's one of those regular tropes where girl is the daughter of a duke and is engaged to the crown prince, and all of a sudden he wants to call off the engagement because there's another girl who's better, and you find out that like he had basically been emotionally abusing her for years, and she's like, fucking finally, can I ask her
Wow.
one final thing? And he's like, no. And the new girl's like, oh, just be nice and let her, she's being run into the dirt because she's trash. And she's like, okay, great. Puts on gloves and literally beats the living shit out of everyone in the ball.
Yes.
She talks with her fists, and I love her so much.
Yes.
She's out here like putting on brass knuckle gloves with like little spikes on them and stuff, being like, excuse me, while I punch literally all the bitches in here. So like all the corrupt nobles who are on the prince's side, she punched out. Um,
Mhm.
she just punches everybody. There's like a corrupt church too, and she punches them out.
Nice.
Bandits show up, she punches them out.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. It's great. There's only 3 books released so far, but Zach found a site that has like 40 chapters. I'll see if I can get you the link for it.
Cool. Thank you.
Because I think that's the swashbuckling way of doing it. But
Mm.
I also want to catch up because like I'll still get the books when they come out,
Mhm. My
but I want more now.
mhm.
Go ahead.
My list is pretty short. I watched Yuri on Ice again because that's my comfort.
Yeah.
I just love it. The relationship is so great. I'm still watching the jeweler one. Um, one where the one that's he's like, I need you to figure out this mystery of this
Hmm.
like ruby and my grandmother. So I'm watching that one still.
Are you liking it?
And I'm liking it, yes.
Okay. What episode are you on? Trying to remember
Number
them.
3.
The third one. Okay, cool. Are you finding
Yeah,
it
he's working for
relaxing?
him now.
Oh, okay, good.
Yes.
I love how his job
Yes,
is
I'm
just like
fine.
make snacks.
Uh-huh. Make
Make
this
me the
tea, and
tea I
he's
like.
like, "Oh, you didn't make it right." With the milk. What else? I watched Mushishi?
Mushoku Tensei?
No, no.
Mushishi
It's
is kind of like I remember that one. My friend told me to watch it because
yeah,
I like
it's the one
Natsume's Yuujin show.
where the guy travels around the countryside. He's like a spirit worker. He works
Mm,
with
mhm, mhm.
um other spirits and other entities that have kind of invaded other people's lives and stuff like that. So I watched that again, which was really great. And that was about it. I haven't read anything this week. I've just been really trying to I couldn't focus enough to read, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't my brain was not in a space, but I still want to read and it's on my bed. Like the books have not left my bed. Love Me for Who I Am. Um, I'm still trying to read through the second book, the
I
second
was like,
volume of that. Oh my
I can get
gosh.
why it might take a hot minute because it is a little emotionally close to home for a lot of
It is very
reasons.
emotionally close to home,
So that makes sense.
but it's beautifully done. Beautifully done.
Yeah,
All
I
right, and
really
that's
loved it.
me. Check. That is it.
Well, we also watched Samurai Champloo together. 9
We
episodes.
did.
Those last 3 had me fucked up though. I was
Mm-hmm.
crying the whole time.
I
Like when
have
old
forgotten so much of it.
like when old dude took Jen out, I was like, "No!"
No.
And then
When he
when
dropped into that water, I was like,
yes! I was
oh
like
shit.
uh, but then when he crawled out with his hair down,
Oh, we got Daddy Gin then. We got Daddy Gin.
it was a different kind of problem.
Yes, it
Um,
was.
ah,
And also, I love how Mugen's character, like, didn't really change much, but he endeared himself. Like he was like, "Get out of here, run." He didn't have to show up for
Yeah,
her. He
he
could have
didn't.
just
He could have
he
been like,
like
"I'm
threw
saving
his
my own
sword and
ass."
showed up.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Mugen's hair also got wet in that sequence, and he popped out with his hair
He
longer
did,
around his
with his
face.
hair long and down.
Uh-huh. It
He
was
had
good.
it
Those last few
rough
episodes were
too.
good.
Like,
He
that dude
did.
was slicing him the fuck up.
Mm-hmm. 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 Then to get shot by old boy at the
Yeah.
end, who had a chair cannon for some reason.
And, like, was a bomb, was like a human bomb, that was crazy. I was like, "They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna die, they're gonna die." That's why, like, I texted you at the end, I was like I was having my own crying Nezuko moment where I was like, "You got that. They're alive."
Yokatane!
Yeah.
Yokata!
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like Fu was gonna die, like Jin had
Yeah.
died, Mugen died, like everybody. I thought that old man who was taking care of her daddy died. Like, could you imagine going to meet your daddy and he's like, first he was sick and now he dead. Like it was just,
That was a
and then
very,
before he
very
died,
short
she's like,
sequence. I
that
love
wasn't
you.
short for as long as she
Yeah.
been trying to get to him. And also you kind of understand, oh, this is why he went away.
Yeah. 'Cause he
He
didn't
went
want her
away
caught
to
up in this.
protect them.
Yeah.
He went away to protect them.
And I mean, that doesn't mean that she can't be
Mad
bitter
or
about it.
upset,
She
yeah.
totally can. But I'm glad she got that level
Just
of
like
closure.
Katara was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Katara was like, Dad, you abandoned us. Sokka was like, I'm so happy to see you. Katara was like, man, fuck you.
Fuck you. Yeah. She came with that energy strong too. I
I
don't
was
need
like, fuck
you.
you.
Been
Do you
doing
know
this
what I've
solo
been
for
through?
years.
Do you know how I had
Stupid
to
old
become the
man.
parent after you left? You and everybody left. You, my dad, you left. Like, I'm just, whatever. Yeah, I'm happy to see you, but I can't stand you. Where's mom's killer? I'm about to go murk him. Come on,
Yeah.
Zuko.
I need to rewatch that again. That was such a good show.
Me too.
Uh, I usually wait
Avatar: The
years
Last
before I
Airbender.
rewatch things, and then I don't remember them, and that makes it fresher.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I was thinking about rewatching Natsume's Yujin show at some point, because that one's really good too.
What are we gonna start watching on Tuesday? Which one is it? Given?
Given, yeah,
I'm
I'm
excited. I'm
I'm
excited to
also
be
excited.
emotionally distraught by it.
It's better than being anxious, because like the other show that I was gonna pick, like I literally couldn't finish it. I got like halfway through the first season, and I was like, I can't do it with these bastards anymore. They're too distressing for me. But I
Mm-hmm.
can't watch it alone either. Like I'm not gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it at some point. I was just like,
Yes.
let's not do it when the emotions are like this. Let's have a little bit of a break. So given is melancholy, but it's not something that's going to completely destroy you.
Mm-hmm.
Except that one
My
episode. That
next
one
thing
episode
might
gets me every time.
my next thing may actually be a movie instead of a
Oh,
full
okay.
anime sequence. It might be Tokyo Godfathers.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's heartwarming, and yeah, it's heartwarming. It's really, really, really good. I really enjoyed it, and at the time when I watched it, I didn't realize it was one of the like big movie animes that people reference back to. I was just like, "Oh, this is like really sweet and really well done, and the artwork is beautiful and the story is great." So yeah, yeah, we're gonna watch Tokyo Godfathers for
I'm
my pick
down.
next, and then we can get right into the anxiety fueled. anime that you have planned next? Let's have a little soft entry.
Yeah,
A little soft entry.
let's have a little bit of a break. A break from
Mhm.
the anxiousness of
Mhm.
we'll have like every time we do a really anxious one, we'll have like a 3 show
Yeah.
buffer
Yeah.
because we
Have you
did.
seen Paprika?
I have not, no.
Okay, all right, cool. Because that was the other one. It was like either Tokyo Godfather or Paprika, which is, I think Paprika to me was like, oh, this is where they got the inspiration for, oh my God, what is that one with not Brad Pitt, but the other one who never dates anyone who's younger than
Leo?
19?
Leonardo?
Leonardo DiCaprio, the one who dates babies, yes.
The
Um,
baby dater.
the baby dater. Inception. I was like, "Oh, this is where y'all got the
Oh,
idea for Inception."
got it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I've
Yeah.
heard of it. Um,
Mhm.
and I also have Tokyo Gore Police on my list, but I haven't seen it yet
It's on
because
my
you
list too.
recommended it. Yeah. You were
Mhm.
like,
I
this one's
haven't
badass."
I haven't seen all of it. I just started and I'm like, "Ooh, I don't have the energy for this yet." But but it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah. That's why, like, one of my
Mhm.
friends is like, "You should watch this show." And I'm like, "Do you know how many shows I have started in the past year?" 20. I've started 20 shows. Please let me finish one of them. And he's like, "Well, it's your fault for not finishing it." And I'm like, "I know that. Leave me alone." Yeah.
Listen.
I can't wait for JJK to be completely out though, so we can get on that though.
So we can watch
I'm
it.
so excited.
I've just been
I
watching the intro sequence to that one song that I really, really like. They have an intro sequence that I think I sent it to you,
Oh, on the
in a
wall
reel.
where they're
Yeah.
fighting. Yeah.
Where they're fighting on the wall and it's to that
Yeah.
song from Flying the Boss.
Yeah.
Hello, Chris. I'm about to sin again. The way they just oh, the intro is so good. The intro's so good. My intro's so good that I'm just holding the mic to my face because
Yeah.
I wish it was Gojo. Oh my God, Gojo.
And like I saw another thing where the director basically confirmed that Gojo and Geto are soulmates, which makes
Oh my
the stuff
God.
that
That
happens later
makes,
even worse.
oh,
I love
oh
Gojo
my
so
God.
much. And like I
Oh,
said, like
Gojo.
I love Geto so much too,
He
actually,
could
even
get
though
it.
like he's a complete asshole in the movie. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they introduced some new characters in that first sequence too, which should be interesting. But we get to see baby Nanami too.
Mm-hmm. Was Nanami ever a baby?
He's like
Nanami.
he didn't come out full grown man mode. He had like an emo sad boy face. I mean,
I used
there's
to
a
have such
reason
a
why
big
he
thing for
decided
emo sad boys.
there's a reason why he stopped being a sorcerer for a while. He was like, "I can't handle this. I'm gonna go be an office worker."
Mm-hmm. And that's where he got his boundaries around time from.
Mhm.
The Nami entering overtime.
The Nanami scent from Aisha Fai is called Overtime.
Nice.
It smells really good too. But yeah,
I
I
bet
also
it
have
does. I bet he
I
smells good.
I've been collecting things to put in the package for you whenever I get the bonnet. So I have like just a bunch of stuff that is going to be heading your way as soon as the
Oh,
bonnet comes in.
sweet. Sweet. Oh, thank you, hun. Oh my God. I can't wait to put on that bonnet. I can't wait for that bonnet. I'm excited about that bonnet. Oh my God. Yeah, so I've had some spoilers on a Demon Slayer manga.
Mhm.
And when someone was like, oh no, Zenitsu wakes up,
Yeah.
I was like, He's gonna be such a he's oh my god. I love Zenitsu. He's like my little baby. But then as he like becomes a master, I don't know how I'm gonna react. I don't know how I'm gonna respond. Like, especially if his hair gets long and he
We'll
gets
see.
grown and
We'll
he's
see.
protecting Nezuko.
Mm, we'll see.
I wanna see what
I'm
happens.
I'm most of the way through season 1 in the manga. I'm in the Spider Forest right now. So,
Mhm.
I will say, like, I like in the manga that you get a lot more of the inner workings of the boys and why they're doing
Mm.
what they're doing. So
Mhm.
I'm actually appreciating Zenitsu a little bit more than I did in the anime because 1, I don't have to hear him screaming in the manga, and 2, um
Nezuko!
yeah.
I don't wanna go.
And 2, like, you can kind of see more of how he thinks and why he is the way he is, which is interesting. Like, it's the same
Mhm.
sequences that they showed in the anime, but for some reason I get more context out of manga when I'm reading it than I do
Mhm.
when they're just talking about stuff because I
You
feel like
absorb it a different way.
yeah, 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 I absorb it a different way, and, while I like
Mhm.
the art for the anime more than the manga, which is a little bit
Mhm.
unusual because, like, for Chainsaw Man, I really like the art in the manga more. Um, actually, I like the art in Jujutsu Kaisen more than the manga as well. There's something
Mm.
about the way that the guy does faces, he makes them very boxy.
Mhm.
But the expressions are the same. So, like, they've
Mhm.
been able to capture the expressions really, really well in the anime. I'm so excited about watching the new season. I can't.
Mm. I'm glad I watched Demon Slayer before I started reading the manga because with the way it's drawn,
Mhm.
I would not have been able to see like it doesn't translate
With the
as well.
action.
Like
Yeah.
my brain goes with the action, like with the
Mhm.
action. So now that I've seen the
Yeah.
manga, now that I've seen the anime, I can read the manga and be like,
Oh, so that's
okay,
what that
this is
is.
what this looks like, or this is
Yeah.
how we got from point A to point B. Unlike with Chainsaw Man and reading the manga for Chainsaw Man, it was like everything was clear. The action sequences were
Yeah.
just drawn so
So
much
well.
clearer to me. And if I hadn't seen the anime, I wouldn't have felt like I would have lost anything.
Yeah, actually,
Um,
I think with Chainsaw Man, I felt like I got a lot more out of the show after having read the manga because the manga has a lot more content, like, internally, as well as just it's a longer story, obviously, because they haven't made another
mhm,
season of Chainsaw Man yet, but I agree, I think, like and it's the same with Jujutsu Kaisen because the way that the action is drawn in the manga is extremely confusing. So unless you get
mhm.
used to his style and, like, you know how the action works, you're like, What's going on? I don't understand." But I assure you I completely understood everything that was happening in the Shibuya incident, and it was terrifying.
Oh.
Ah. Anyway. So,
I'm gonna get my care package together for that
yeah. Yeah, you'll
to
need it.
watch that.
Hopefully, I'll have all of the things ready for you so that you'll You'll have you'll have, uh you'll have your emotional support bonnet and uh, but yeah. So, speaking of getting panic attacks over anime, let's, 'cause of, uh, Jujutsu Kaisen, mental health and anime. Like, we've talked before about how important it is for content warnings so that, like, you don't randomly walk into something that's gonna give you a panic attack, but at the same
Mhm,
time, like, we've also talked about how we have, like, emotional support anime and comfort anime, like, Yotsura Biori, the one with the cafe boys who
mhm,
run a cafe and it's super chill.
mhm.
Um,
That's Sudanese.
yeah, Tsurune is really it's, like, both exciting and relaxing at the same time, which is
Mhm.
wild to me, but I feel like that's the same way with, Yuri on Ice. Yuri on Ice is also
Yes.
exciting and relaxing at the same time.
Oh my god. I feel like I know the characters in Yuri on Ice. I feel like I'm friends with them. Like it is so good. It is so good. It is so good. It's I can't even. If you haven't watched Yuri on Ice, watch Yuri on Ice. I will say that there's like a few episodes in the beginning where there's body shaming, so content warning on that. But and once you get past that, like those few instances, um, it's the rest of it is just two guys falling in love and ice skating.
And ice skating. And the ice skating sequences are,
Beautiful
like,
ice skating
stupid
sequences.
good. Fucking Mappa.
Oh, so
Anyway.
good. So good. So good.
Uh, oh, but speaking of Mappa, really quick sidebar. Did you see this trailer for Lazarus?
No, I have not seen the
It it
trailer for Lazarus yet.
it looks bonkers good. So, 1, the story is gonna be compelling as everything else the director has done, but the design work and the way that the show is actually put together, and this is gonna sound you're gonna be like, "Wait, what?" It reminded me of Banana Fish. So, Banana Fish
Mm.
had, like, a more realistic look to it, and this one has kind of that feel like the city has gravity of, like, where they're parkouring around. Um, the people, like, look like more like, I guess, old school anime almost people as opposed to, like, they don't have, like, the big eyes type of thing. So it's a little
Mhm.
less cartoony in terms of how the people are designed, but definitely,
Mhm.
like, definitely go watch that. That's super cool.
Okay.
But
I'll
it
watch it.
it just reminded me, like, so yeah, and the thing about content warnings is that, like, everybody needs something different. It's not
Yeah.
something that you think about, but, like, when I'm recommending stuff to you, for instance, I'm making sure if I see something like that, I'm like, "Hey, heads up, there's a scene that involves body shaming," or "Heads up, there's a scene that involves, you know, X, Y, or Z," because I know what your triggers are. And, like, same for me,
Mhm.
like, when the second, It movie came out, Megan immediately messaged me and was like, "Hey, so there's, like, a really graphic vomiting scene in this one," and I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much," because I would have
Mhm.
gone my ass into the theater and freaking freaked the fuck out because
Mhm.
I wouldn't have had a warning, and so it's good to, like, know not only for yourself what your warnings are, but, like, for your friends because, we love recommending to each other things that we like, but if there's
Mhm.
something that's gonna be triggering, it's important to, like, mention it. So, like, one of my friends that I sent a little care package to, I had the first book of Given in there, and she, like, just lost her grandmother, and I was like, "Just fair
Oh.
warning, grief is a central topic of this manga. If you can't handle
Mhm.
that right now, maybe hold off on reading it for a bit." And she was like, "Thanks for telling me. That is probably something I wanna hold off for a bit on because when the grief is really present, it's, really present. So, I think that that's interesting.
Mhm.
But, yeah, I don't really know where to go with this topic because there's so many elements to it,
I think
you know?
I think also sometimes um media and anime and manga in general can also speak to um mental illness or neurodiversity um as well. Like one that I was watching that I'm waiting for the next season to come out. I don't know if they have a next season. I know they were going to do a next season, but animes like Comey Can't Communicate.
Season 2 is out for
Um
that one.
is out?
It it's
Oh,
it's airing
oh.
right now. Yeah. So
I'm gonna watch it. Comey's neural spicy,
Mhm.
and she goes through forming friendships while being neurospicy and around surrounded by a bunch of neurospicy people,
Mhm.
because everyone for the most part in there has something like that's going on with them. um and how people are adjusting to her,
Mhm.
um and how she navigates and communicates. So there are instances of things like that. I've seen instances where people have had to overcome their own, like, it's just like with any form of media. There are depictions of people who are struggling. And
Mhm.
I find that in anime and manga, that I've read where people are struggling, they go into their backstory,
Yeah.
and they go into what they're doing, and they go into like how they lead their lives. And I don't really see that all the time in Western um depictions of mental illness. A lot of depictions of mental illness I saw growing up, and I'm not gonna stop using the word mental illness. Of neural divergence that I
Mhm.
saw growing up was just, this is just a character, and this is who they are, and it's where they are, and this it's static. It's
Yeah.
not this is who they were before something may have
Yeah.
happened, or this is their backstory, or this is what affected them or influenced them. This is their struggle that they're dealing with on a daily basis, and this is where they're headed towards the future. I haven't seen that in a lot of Western stuff, and maybe it's just because I'm not watching the right stuff. I know I'm not watching enough independent movies. The
Yeah.
independent film, once it got rid of independent film channel, I was so sad when they just started doing like, what is that TV called? Reality TV, instead of showing
Yeah.
those. Well, yeah, we lost so many good channels that did show things like that with neurodiversity in it. Um,
I also feel like in a lot
that
of Western media, that when they're showing people struggling, it's more how to put this? It's more about the struggle, while I feel like in a
mhm,
lot of anime that I'm watching, it's more about their journey and the healing that they're gaining
yes,
through
yes,
relationships with other people. And
yes,
seeing that kind of depiction and being like, "Oh, you know, like, even if it's something where you have a chronic illness that's gonna last for a long time, that doesn't mean," like, a lot of Western movies about chronic illness are about isolation. They're about,
yeah,
being by yourself, but um, most of the media that I've read about chronic illnesses or disabilities in anime have been about making connections and
yeah,
finding meaning through those connections in a way that is hopeful, and I really think it's super important for that kind of depiction of disabilities and, the different neurodivergencies and, trauma and stuff like that, because when you see depictions of people healing through connections, and when you see depictions of people not necessarily getting over having a disability, but, like, living their life in a positive and hopeful light, I think that's so important for,
mhm,
to see that kind of thing instead of just how should I put this? The trauma porn, or, like, the people being like,
yeah.
"Hey, let's feel sad for these
Their
people."
their disability or neurodivergence isn't the whole of their character. That's not why their character
Right.
exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they aren't characterized by it. It's just something that they are going through, and something they experience, and something they could use help with or support with or understanding around. But it's
Mhm.
not like their main character trait, which I see in a lot of Western media. It's like, this is the main character trait, and this is their hurdle, and this is their cross to bear, instead of showing like, this is how we can have like joy in it. Joy in these bodies that we have, joy when within our neurodivergences and stuff like
Mhm.
that. I do know that for me, media in general, there was a time when I had to stop looking at magazines when I was younger, because everyone depicted on the magazine as beautiful or worthy did not look like me. They were all fitting a Eurocentric beauty mythos,
Mhm.
where the bodies were like super slender, very like fair skin, things like that, that it just made me feel not pretty, not viable, and then being seen as a woman, uh, society and media had enforced that if I wasn't fuckable, then I wasn't valuable or worthy,
Right.
and showed me examples of what fuckable was, right? Um, so I had to stop looking at media because it really like it stressed me out, it depressed me, it made me feel worthless. And I think when I started to surround myself with different forms of media, like watching independent films or watching
Mhm.
films that are done by black and brown creators or queer creators, or making my social media like pages, like I'm following people who are black and brown, who are fat, who are queer, who are neurodivergent, who are disabled. Like those are the people I'm following and connecting with online. And that gave me so much healing and joy and peace, because I saw people who look like me doing things that we I was told we couldn't or shouldn't or would never be able to do. So that's the way in which media has so much power, because it's like it's visual, it's so somatic. It's we're listening to it, it's art, it influences our world, it influences us. So media is can be a very powerful tool for healing and can be a very powerful weapon for harm.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's definitely on both sides because I know I've had shows send me into severe depression because they triggered things in me that I wasn't expecting. Um,
Mhm.
and I think basically curating the things that you consume is extremely important for both your own mental health and healing. Because if you watch something that involves people that are like you and the story is hopeless, that can trigger something in you where you're like,
Mhm.
you know, because that actually happens a lot in queer media. There's the kill the gays thing that they have.
Oh
Uh,
my god, queer media created by straight people, like that's where we get the
it's
tragic queer
the
tropes.
worst. Like, just sometimes I just wanna see light and fluffy, let me see the gays be happy, that's all I want, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
Like, it doesn't always have to involve trauma, you guys, it really doesn't. And if it does involve trauma, let them have a happy ending, for fuck's sake.
Yes. Mhm.
So if they
Oh
don't
my
have a happy
god,
ending, then I'm mad.
Killing Eve.
Mm,
Killing Eve was really big, but in the end of Killing Eve in the book, which is written by a queer woman, Eve and what's her name, that crazy bitch. I'm not gonna use the word crazy. She was a sociopath. But she loved Eve. Got together in the end. They were together. And in the TV show, which was not written by queer people, um, she gets shot and dies in the end.
what? That's a completely
Yeah.
different ending.
Completely
Ugh,
different ending. The difference between when it's written by a queer person, when it's not written by queer people, or
right?
for the queer gays. The
Yikes.
queer gays is just cis het gays is definitely a thing. And when they write our stories, it is awful. And the awards that are given, like I haven't seen the awards given for, well, a lot of awards given for movies aren't always joyous, but like what do we see awards for in queer movies? Like big boys don't cry or something like that, girls don't cry
Yeah.
or something like that. Like that gets awards and stuff. But yeah, I feel like media is its own magic spell because it can switch our consciousness. And the more people that are watching it, the more people talking about it, it builds its own power. Like I know something I'm excited to consume. A piece of media I'm excited to consume is Barbie.
Yes,
I
I'm
cannot
excited about it too. I
wait to
heard
see
she
it.
I heard she goes to the gynecologist at the end, which I'm like, that
Oh
seems
my god!
right.
That sounds amazing. Barbie goes to the gynecologist. Oh, I wonder what happens.
She
I
probably
wonder what
gets an
happens.
exam.
And I love me some Ryan Gosling. Like I love Ryan Gosling. I can't wait to experience his Kinergy.
His energy, yes. I'm excited for it. Like we were gonna do the whole Barbenheimer thing, but one of my friend, well, actually Danny, who you met last time, he said that when they did Oppenheimer, they like didn't talk at all about the bombs. Like there was
Huh.
no talk about the bombs or the consequences. It was all about the lead up to the bombs. And I think that that's a weird edit to not have the movie about the man who created the bomb actually talk about the bombings
The
or
pivotal
how
the
that
big one
affects
of the big
people.
pivotal moments. Yeah.
Like that just
Yeah.
it
It
seems a little
it tracks for me. It tracks to me and it tracks to me because this is a movie about historical happenings. And in order to include that, we would have to really include the fact that Americans dropped atomic bombs.
yeah,
And so, like, I think that they didn't want to go there with this movie because they didn't want to start that conversation.
that makes sense, honestly. But that's why I'm like leaning even further into we're just gonna go see Barbie. I have an entire pink
Mhm.
outfit plan too. Yeah,
Nice.
I have a coat that looks like I skinned a Muppet, so, that'll be I haven't had an
Wonderful.
opportunity to wear it yet, so this'll be a good,
Mhm.
um and I'll make sure to re-up my hair so that it matches with the
Mhm.
magenta full outfit.
Awesome. Send pictures.
Oh, I will. I will, and I'll probably wash
But
this
what are
dress and
pieces
wear
of
it next
media
week.
that have stuck with you that you feel have changed your life?
Oh, that's hard. Um, Honestly, one of them is the show that we're gonna start watching next week, and it's
Mm.
because for me, I don't know if it's because of the ADHD or what, but I've always had trouble with the concept of grief. Like,
Mm.
grief as an idea and grief as a living thing within you,
Mhm.
because for me, I will forget it exists, and then it hits me like a bus all over again every single time.
Ah. Uh-huh.
So, like, seeing someone else go through the process of grieving is ended up being very cathartic for me. Because
Mhm.
at the time that I watched that one and Death Parade around the same time, which
Oh
was
Lord.
when I know, right? And that was around the time that I lost my friend.
Mm.
So,
Mhm.
I was actively grieving at the time I was watching a show about grieving, which, um, like, for some people would be too intense, but for me, it was exactly what I needed at the time.
Mhm.
Um And it's also interesting watching how things affect other people because some of the shows that we've watched together, um, Kurt has been affected by them because they're, showing emotional transitions that he's been through. Like,
Mhm.
surprisingly enough, SAO does a really good job with PTSD, I
Mm.
feel like. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the way
I
that
feel no, you're right, but also I'm like, oh, you're seeing something good about Sword Art Online.
look, look,
So
look,
that's
just
why that's why.
you were taken aback by a second. Look, look, I'm not one who's gonna be like, "I'm just gonna shit on this show to shit on this show." No, look, I can admit that some trash shows have good qualities, and the good quality of SAO is it depicts PTSD really well. Same with Mushoku Tensei. Mushoku Tensei has a PTSD element as well, and
Mm,
they depict that really well as well. Um, and I'm not sure why, but that's just something that happens, and it was interesting watching it though, for
mhm,
that, and I was honestly surprised that it depicted it so well, just based on the writing and how the story was going, but, like,
mhm,
you could clearly tell what he was going through internally in the show, and
mhm,
that again, that's what I find so interesting about anime in general is because it has forced me to explore certain emotional aspects that I just generally don't think about on the regular.
mm,
And there are certain shows that, like, are too intense and I can't handle. Like, if they have too much, child abuse or if the show involves sexual assault of any kind, I usually
mhm,
can't do it because it's too intense,
mhm,
and no, that's a hard no for me. I can't watch those. Um, yeah, like, if it's one person being hit once, that's fine. Or if it's, like, done different, like, if the show's about fighting, that's also fine, but if it's, like, literally just a lot of abuse being piled on someone, it's too intense for me most of the time,
mhm.
so I have to watch out for those. What about you? What's one that's affected you a lot?
Um, Not really any. I'm trying to think of as any. Oh, shit. Um, Outside of anime or manga, The Color Purple.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
that one's really intense.
The Color Purple was like, oh my god, this speaks to intergenerational trauma and resilience,
Mhm.
and what it can look like to craft your own joy, and what it looks like to not really fit. Another one that really affected me in a lot of ways that stayed with me too is Xena Warrior Princess. Xena
Honestly,
really,
fair.
Xena impacted my queerness, but also this idea that through I felt like aligned really with Gabrielle, the warrior bard,
Mhm.
like how you can be soft and how you can be compassionate and how you can still kick ass. Let's see, any media that affected me, specifically anime or manga that stuck with me. I'm going to say, and I was fighting somebody over this anime online recently because they're like, every anime like benefited from this anime. And I'm like, no, fuck you. That was Sailor Moon. Like, Sailor Moon is the most influential anime out
Of all
there,
time, for sure.
of all time. Like, fuck you. But this person was arguing that it was Akira. Um, I will say that Akira affected me in a way of it changed how I perceive the world and my reality.
Mm.
Um, because I saw it when I was gonna say like 10,
Oh, wow.
12, maybe.
Yeah, that would do it. That's way too early for Akira.
Yeah, yeah. And I watched it like 4 times. Cause I watched it 4 times because I'm like, I don't understand this. And I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to understand all this. I think I'm
Mhm.
supposed to feel a lot of this. And I've watched Akira since and I understand it more and better. But like when I watched it, it just warped my sense of reality, my sense of who am I in my life. It made me question what was possible. It made me think about like the metaphysical like realm and all that other stuff and what our minds could create. Like it just totally shifted something in me. It made me believe that it made me believe that nightmares can be real. Um,
Oh.
but if nightmares could be real, so can dreams.
Yeah. I will say, like, I think Lane may have affected me like that. Serial
Mm.
Experiments Lane. And the one he did
Lane
after that,
was
which is,
intense.
I don't know if you've seen Hibernate Rainmay at all?
Yes.
Yeah, it was by the same guy. So yes, right? That one. Those affected me in 2 different ways, but they affected me in the same vein in that, like, right here and right now is not the final step.
Mhm.
And, yeah, but Hibernate Rainmay, like, really took me out.
That one
That one
wrecked
took me
me.
out
It was
hard.
so beautiful though. It was so beautiful, but that's the one with the angels, right?
Yup.
And then they were protecting these seeds, which I think were soul seeds or something like that, and
Yeah, they were protecting the
I
seeds,
forget.
and spoilers, you find out the reason why they have gray wings is because they committed suicide, and they're
Yes,
actually
that's
in
right.
purgatory.
Yeah.
So they had to, like, basically come to terms with their own mental state in order to ascend, essentially. They
Mhm.
weren't given any of their memories to start with, so they had to
Yeah.
find their memories, and once they found
Mhm.
them, accept and learn from them, and it was the acceptance of the dark portions of yourself that was what affected me the most, because it's
Mhm.
something that I always struggled with as, like, a teenager and stuff, because when I was growing up, it was very much a, "You need to be bright and happy, you can't be
Yep.
sad. When you're sad, it's a burden. So you need to not be
Mhm.
like that because it's being a burden." So I had
Mhm.
effectively shoved a lot of the dark portions down and out and suppressed them in order to not be a burden on other people.
Mhm.
So seeing a show where they had to accept the dark parts in order to fully
Mhm.
become whole again was, um, difficult, but good.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
have not been able to find that one anymore. Like, I wanna watch it again.
It's not released anywhere. I think I borrowed it, when it was out. I might have it on DVD somewhere, but, like, I haven't seen it since either, since, like, it came out. Um, like, Lane
Which is a
was deep.
shame because it's so good and so poignant. I have forgotten that one existed, but yeah, it was one of the ones that really deeply affected me and changed me.
It says it's on
Um,
Funimation, so it should be on Crunchyroll at some point.
what?
Yeah.
They better. They better. I'm going to Crunchyroll right now. HAI
HAIBANERENMEI.
HAIB. Nope, it's not out yet. But Snow White with the red hair is.
Yes. Yeah, they definitely have that one.
I'm gonna watch that one. I'm gonna keep looking for it and see where it pops up. Yeah, that reminded me of another one. Another one that really affected me. Ooh, one that really affected me is one you're watching right now. Violet Evergarden.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that one's that one's rough. That one's
Mhm.
rough. That's one that, like, I watched 2 episodes, and I have not gone back to it because literally both of them made me cry, and I'm putting that on the
Yeah,
list
no.
of, watch this when you can emotionally handle it along with Banana Fish. So it's going in that bucket of, I'll come back to this because it's gorgeous and I really like it, but we'll see if I can mentally handle all of the trauma.
Look,
Hurrah.
I'll watch it with you if you want me to. I'll watch it with you. But like Violet Evergarden affected me deeply because the one of the main tropes of it is rediscovering your humanity,
Yeah.
when people have stripped it away and when you have perpetuated the false narrative of not having your own humanity as well. Like what happens when people take it away from you and you internalize it? And how do you get it back?
Yeah, her just
Um,
figuring out how to be a human is
mhm.
so difficult to watch because she has no regard for her own self at all.
No,
0.
none. None. And she has to be held in that, you
Mhm.
know? She has to have that part of her understood, and then she has to have the other parts gently nurtured, and then she has to do the work herself. So, I
Water all over my
really
titties. Sorry. I spilled water all over me.
you're like, "Pat, pat, pat, pat."
Pat, pat. Titty water. Okay.
Mm. But, that one really affected me as I look at my own humanity,
Mhm.
especially as I move through writing this book about breaking down the mammy trope
Yeah.
and how increasingly so many of us are divorced from our humanity in this country because of our various forms of marginalization and gender and all this other stuff. So it gave me some really good resources or examples of how do we own ourselves and protect ourselves when we were taught constantly to sacrifice ourselves,
Yeah.
which she was totally taught to sacrifice herself. Um, for the love of someone else. And now she has to turn that love inward. Like that, it's an intense journey. Like, I'm going to watch it again. And if you want someone to watch it with you, I'm here to watch it with you.
Okay.
Whenever you're emotionally ready, be like, I'm emotionally ready to watch an episode of Violet Evergarden. I'll be like,
Okay.
bet,
Let's watch them.
I'm here for you.
Okay, okay. I will keep that in mind, because it's gorgeous. The way it's produced is fucking amazing. Like,
Hmm.
I do definitely wanna watch more of it. I just, because I haven't been feeling well, it's not really a space that I can be like,
No.
"Yeah, let's destroy my mind while we're at it too." Why not? Um,
Hmm.
but yeah, it's something that I've been thinking about recently because I noticed, in a lot of more modern media, even outside of anime, but, in anime too, characters that are being written now are far more human
Hmm.
and together than characters that were
Hmm.
being written 10 and 20 years ago.
I
And,
agree.
because when I'm looking at, like I said, when I was rewatching Fushigi Yugi or when I was, watching that trash, Junjo Romantica, I'm sitting there going, "These are tropes. These are tropes being tropes in this space." This isn't like a lot of even the trash shows today, I feel like have more human stories than the stuff that was being produced before because they
Yeah.
know what the audience wants, and the audience wants to be able to connect with the characters on a more
Yeah.
emotional level, which I don't know if
Yes.
that means we've matured as an audience or if, it's just people have gotten more used to writing full characters when they're creating stories for us.
I think I think one of the things that's happened is that I'm just gonna say straight out like what I think is what happened. One, media is often, especially with movies and TV shows, are often 10 years behind what is happening in actual culture.
Mm, okay,
Like
that
if
makes
you look
sense.
at a movie that was done in the 60s, it'll have the production value of a movie done in the 60s, but the storyline was something done in the 50s.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing that's happened. Another thing that's happened is we're starting to have diversity in the writers' room. We have diversity. We are starting to have gender diversity. We're starting to have race diversity
Yeah.
in the writers' rooms. We're starting to have stories that are being written by other people. It's no longer just centered around a white male narrative or what white men will think is going to sell or going to buy.
Mhm.
There's been more polling done of who's going to the movie theater, why they're going to the movie theater, and a lot of people who are part of marginalized groups. And I'm not just saying like marginalized groups as I include women in the marginalized group because
Mhm.
women get fucked over constantly. So more marginalized groups, women are having a voice in what they see and what's being produced and are voting with their dollars when they go to the movie theater.
Yeah.
Like a majority of moviegoers and media consumers, it's mostly women. And so our demands, the demands of marginalized people are finally starting to be met in media. And I
Yeah.
think that's why we're starting to see a shift of having full or built out characters. We're having characters that are not just like that aren't sole job is not to be either aesthetically pleasing or whatever. We
Right.
get even the himbos have a storyline in the
Right,
background.
yeah.
Um
'Cause
it's
I
it's
think
it's
it's good for everybody when that kind of thing happens because,
mhm,
like, even comparing some of the, like, blatant action shows today versus the blatant action shows from, like, when we were kids, it's almost
mhm.
night and day in terms of how the
Yeah,
emotional impacts are set
yeah.
up.
Rambo versus John Wick. I mean,
Yeah, huge
Rambo is
difference.
very one yeah, dimensional. I'm gonna shoot him up. Oh no, Rambo got hurt, blah blah blah. But then we have John Wick who's like, my wife died, she was sick, and she gave me this puppy and they killed the puppy, so now I'm gonna kill everyone. Um it just
Like,
it escalated for him, but you can see all the emotion there beyond I'm gonna kill. I mean, it's okay. I love Keanu Reeves. I'm on Keanu Reeves' dick like hard. Hard. He said something really cute like I saw a few weeks ago where he was talking to oh my god, what's the one? She was in Never Been Kissed and you know what I'm talking about. She's very sweet. She had a fucked up upbringing in Hollywood. Like she was at dancing at Studio 54 when she was like 7 or 10, and she
Drew
had a drug
Barrymore?
addiction. But she got Drew Barrymore. Drew Barrymore was interviewing. Thank you. Drew Barrymore
Well,
was
they're in the same age range,
interviewing.
I feel like.
Yeah, they are.
She and Keanu,
They
yeah.
are. I think Keanu Reeves is a little bit older than her because there was this horrible movie that came out called Toyland, Adventures in Toyland or Babes in
I
Toyland.
remember that one.
That fucking fever dream of a fucking movie. And he played like an older person in love with her character's sister, and she was younger. So I think there might be a 6 to 7 year age difference between them. But he was on the show, and she's like, and they were talking about John Wick, and she said, "Well, I'm a lover, not a fighter." And Keanu Reeves was like, "Oh no, if you're a lover, you got to be a fighter." And she's like, "Oh, interesting. Tell me more." And he's like, "Wow." If you're not fighting for your love, what kind of love is it, man? And
Ooh, he's
and then
so
he just
good. I love him so much.
and then he laughed at himself and walked away. But it was because he also said in the voice, it's like, if you're not fighting for your love, man, then what kind of love is it? And I'm like, oh my god, Keanu Reeves. But there's a more of an emotional draw to John Wick than there is to Rambo.
Oh, Keanu Reeves
Like,
is almost 10 years older than her.
okay, yeah, I figured he
Yeah,
was older.
he's 60 he 1964, she's 1975. So,
Mm,
it's a good 9-year age gap.
mm-hmm.
So that makes sense. But yeah, that man.
That man.
We stan.
We stand Keanu Reeves. We stand Keanu Reeves and his age appropriate relationship with.
And his emotionally intelligent ass. Yes,
Oh,
we
Keanu
stand
Reeves.
100%.
Yeah. But I also think representation in media is super, super important, and not just on the screen, but also with who's writing the stories
Mhm,
for everything. Like, I love seeing bigger bodies in things, and yeah, as a whole. And I love seeing myself depicted in things, which I think is was one of the things that got me into anime and manga,
mhm.
was because, like, I was tired of all my media being white people, because that's all that I saw growing up, was just like white people and their stories. And here we have anime and manga where, even though people had fair skin, my brain was like, okay, this is not really, because they had all the
It's not
big
white
eyes and
people.
everything
Yeah.
then.
But
Yeah, it's not.
that's because they're cats.
Yeah, they're
They're not
cats.
white people, they're cats. It's
They're a
fine.
bunch of cats. They're a bunch of cats. Um, so that was like an alternative to that for me.
Mhm.
I think it's the same reason why I started watching like so many Korean dramas and shit like that. Because I'm like, I need to see other people. And then I started watching Bollywood films, and then there's like a
Bollywood is
bunch
so
of
fun.
Bollywood, like, pops the fuck off.
It
Bollywood is
does.
like,
They don't give a shit.
it is wild. It is wild. Like, you take, it's like Korean drama, but it's turned up a notch. If you could even imagine it turned up a notch.
Yeah.
Bollywood is on some shit. Bollywood is on some shit. And there's also a lot of films coming out of places like Nigeria and Ghana and stuff like that in
Mhm.
Africa. And those films are like turning up too. So I haven't been watching as much. I stopped watching Western media, like, and sitcoms and shit,
Mhm.
such a long time ago. I have
Yeah.
no idea what's actually going on here, but I can tell you about King the Eternal Monarch
I've
and the
seen stuff for
Unbreakable
that
Sword.
too. Yes. Oh my god. Like,
Oh,
and the other thing is, like, it's the storytelling. Because
uh-huh.
the way that they tell stories from these other countries is far different from the way they used to tell
Yeah.
stories here. Like, the shows being made now in, like, Star Wars and Marvel and stuff like that, they're biting anime storylines. They just are. They're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"We're gonna take whatever is in the comics, but the way that we're going to tell the story is going to feel like this other stuff," which I'm, like, down for
Mhm.
because, like, it's actually, interesting and I like watching it, but the fact that, they're just, like, acknowledging that the storytelling from other countries is superior is hilarious to me.
Oh my god.
Though I will say the storytelling for the Chinese shows is a bit off for me, like, the pacing or something, it's a little bit
Mhm.
harder to follow for me than the Korean and the Japanese shows, and I don't know why. Maybe I'll watch
I
the
find that the Chinese shows that I have watched, Um, I'm talking mostly about the historical dramas that I've
Yes.
watched.
Yeah, because that's
Oh,
kind of where my vein's been as well.
the pacing is a little, for me, the pacing is a little bit slower, but there's also a bazillion fucking people in the historical dramas.
Yes!
There's so many people to fucking
There's
keep
so
track
many
of, and
people.
all of them have their stories.
All of them.
All of
Every
them
single
have their
one.
stories and motivations, and even the, like, the fucking cunt faced heifer that's fucking everybody else up has has a
Has, like, a
story about,
deep-ass
like,
backstory.
has a humongous deep ass backstory. Like, I'm watching one right now, and I think it's just the sheer amount of people and their, but every time they have a cliffhanger, it's so dramatic. It is so dramatic. The one I'm watching right now that I've been watching for a while that I need to get back to is Ryu's Royal Love in the Palace.
Yeah, you mentioned that one before, I'll have to look it up because it's on YouTube or something, right?
It's on YouTube. This bitch is beautiful, beautiful. But I'm gonna have to start all the way over at the beginning because I forgot who half these hoes are. Um,
You know what? I'll
but
start watching it too. Tell me when you're watching
okay,
it. I'll
okay, I
throw it
will,
up.
I will, I will. I'm and just I call the king Emperor Fuckboy. I call him Emperor Fuckboy because he is a fuck boy. He is a fuck boy. But the pacing for me is with the historical dramas are a little slower. I do find that the if I watch something that's been done in Korea, Japan, and in China,
Mhm.
that the um I find that if I watch it the Korean or the Japanese version first,
Mhm.
then the Chinese version is easier for me to digest.
Okay, that makes sense because I think it's not necessarily like a language barrier thing, but like the way that it's
The
um,
storytelling.
handled in each country is completely different. So, like, even looking
Yeah.
at our OG topic,
Boys
Hanagori
Over Flowers.
Dango, yeah, the way that the original manga versus
Woo!
how the Korean K-drama handled it versus how
Mhm.
the Taiwanese drama handled it, versus how the Thai drama handled it, they're all gonna be totally different shows, you know what I mean?
Because of the cultural influences on
Yeah,
it.
though I haven't seen anything of the Taiwanese or the Thai ones, so I'm gonna have to, like, look those up. Um,
If you find them, let me know because I've only seen one of the Taiwanese and I couldn't find the rest of it online.
I'm betting
Um,
they're on Rakuten,
mm,
the Viki.
mhm.
Viki has everything, and I might have to break down and get it because there's a couple of, no, wait, there was a K-drama I wanted to see that was on Viki, and they ported it over to Netflix, and it was the, Doom servant? Doom at your service or
Heads
something?
heads up. The guy who played the guy who was in the Korean version of um Boys Over Flowers,
Mm,
the one who played Dong Soo,
okay.
he is the king in King the Eternal Monarch.
Oh, I know that. I'm already on
Okay.
that because he is my favorite, so I will watch anything that man is in.
Oh
His
my
face.
god.
His
His
face.
face.
His
He just
face.
got cuter. His character was so cute I had to slap myself. But his the character that plays his second in command, the unbreakable sword.
Mhm.
Oh, oh my god. That man can wear a fucking suit. I have a thing for men that can wear suits. This man could wear a suit. Oh, this man made me think about going back on dick. Like,
Like, maybe just try some dick for fun as a treat.
maybe just try a little bit of dick.
Just
Maybe
try just a little bit of dick. Just try it again.
just a head.
Just
Just
a
a
little bit.
head.
Just a little
Just
bit.
a tip.
Just the tip. Oh my god. Oh,
Yes. Oh my god.
wild.
I have to find his
Fucking wild.
name because he is so. Oh my god. Who plays the unbreakable sword? Who plays
Double
the
sword.
unbreakable sword?
Sword. Um,
And
drama.
King.
Lee Min Ho and Sword Wu Do Huan.
Oh,
Wu Do
that's
Huan
him.
is the
Udo Juan.
unbreakable sword.
Udo Juan. I hope I'm pronouncing it right because that is the baby's daddy. That is the baby's daddy right there.
But them together in the same scenes, good God. Do they want us
Listen,
to die? I think they want us to die.
there And then he has a character because everybody in there plays two characters. Almost everybody in there
Mhm.
plays two characters. Um, except for the king. But yeah, his second character is so different from his first character. His first character is like obviously a Virgo earth sign, and his second character is definitely a Sagittarius.
I wonder if they are actually. They probably have it up somewhere.
Mm.
God, he's pretty.
Isn't he pretty?
He's so fucking pretty.
He's so
God
pretty.
damn. Okay.
There's another show
I
he's
need
in on Netflix that I'm watching, that I started watching, and he plays a boxer. Um, and
Oh,
I'm
it's
gonna
not the
start watching
boxer,
that
is it?
one.
Shit.
No, I
What
don't
is
think it's the boxer.
Udo Juan?
Oh,
Let me look him
Baki
up.
Hanama came out with a new series. It's called Bloodhounds. It's called Bloodhounds. He's so cute. He's so fine.
Let me see what other
He's
shows
so
he's in.
fine. He's so
Do,
fine.
do, do.
Oh
Oh,
my god,
Uncle
now I'm
Phil.
just like looking for stuff to watch on.
Right?
Okay, all right, cool, 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 cool. Okay, so what we consume in media is important because it can affect us in very deep ways.
It can, yeah. And it's important to understand how it affects you so that you can uh, curate your media, not only in
Mhm.
terms of what the content could be, but again, as we have always said, think about who is creating the media and who that media is being created for and why
Mhm.
they are creating the media in the
Mhm.
way that they are creating it.
Mhm.
Because as you stated, there is a lot of media out there specifically targeting people to feel a certain way about their bodies and their faces.
Mhm.
And that can be extremely detrimental to mental and physical health
Yeah.
when thinking about it that way.
I
But
used to
yeah.
get fucked up off of so many books because when I was reading books, the way I would take in the books would be I would so identify with the main character of a story
Hmm.
that I would just become that character for a week after reading a book. Like I was very
Wow.
much had to, yeah, I had to watch what I was reading. I didn't realize it was a problem until I was like 18 and I was at Xavier University's campus. No, I was 17. I was Xavier University's campus for the summer. I was I 17 or was I 16? I don't know. I was on some university's campus, Xavier University's campus, and I went to their library and I checked out a book and it was called Diary of a Mad Housewife. When I
Oh,
tell you,
huh.
I was a little bit, my depression and anxiety increased. I had an existential crisis. This,
Wow.
and then I realized, oh shit, it's the book I'm reading.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to untangle myself from the story that I was reading. So, like, it really fucks me up when I'm looking at over here. I'm like, when I read Toni Morrison,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, that shit.
I think honestly though, if you read Toni Morrison and you don't end up fucked up, are you really reading Toni Morrison? I mean, let's be honest here, okay? Like,
It's true.
every single book I've read of hers destroyed my fucking soul like a thrasher going through a cornfield. It's bad.
You're right. You're right. You are absolutely right. Whew. So I
Alright.
think, yeah,
Are we done or yeah, I think we're done.
I think we're
We
done
ended up talking on
today.
this topic the entire time, so we'll talk about,
Yeah,
other stuff next time.
yeah.
Not a problem. We will never run out of things to talk about together because
We
of
will
who we
always have
are
things to say.
as people. Yes, correct.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that was it for today. It was awesome talking to you
I
as
think,
always.
yeah, same. And I think if we left anything with the audience, I think would be what you said last. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of media that is targeting us to feel a certain way about our bodies, to enforce certain thought patterns. Movies, think about who, any media, think about, like you said, who they are created by and for and why. Like, and also like know that when you're watching historical stuff, that is flavored by whoever wrote it. Like that movie
Mhm.
Stonewall,
Yeah.
right? Like they showed this like I don't know if he was straight or not, but they showed this like white boy throwing the first brick when that is not what happened.
No.
Like that is not what happened. So when we watch these things, think about like who is it for? Who's telling the story, like you said before. And media is so important. What passes through our lens passes through ourselves. And it and we're touched by things.
Yeah.
Nothing touches, everything leaves a residue or an imprint or a mark. So be aware of that. And how that influences you and the stories that you get told, how they affect the stories you tell yourself.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
because your internal narrative, especially when you're younger. So basically, when you're
Mhm.
younger, your taste in things is essentially set in stone during your like 17 to 20-year-old years. So if you are only consuming one type of media by one type of person, that is how you're going to seek out media from then on, unless you consciously decide to branch out. Um,
Mhm.
I think that's one of the reasons why I enjoy weird things a lot more, is because I made sure to consume as much from different creators as possible during that time frame. And so my taste in things runs to the independent, to the weird, to I want to see the stories from the people who we don't hear stories from more often.
Yeah.
But I also know that not everybody can be like that, and there is a way to branch that out, but you have to be very conscientious about what you're doing. So if you're hearing this and you're not used to the media that we've been talking about, or you know, even if you do, read manga and watch anime, but you're only going for action shows or you're only going for romance shows, there's things to be gleaned from literally every single type of show out there. So,
Mhm.
unless you branch
Mhm.
out and try new things, you're never going to know how those things are going to affect you or how they could positively impact your mental state or show you other ways to think about things.
Of being. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We got really like deep in there. That was great.
That was great.
Yeah. All right, everybody. It has been a pleasure, and we will be back next week. So, thank you for continuing to be on this journey with us. So much love. Take care of yourselves and watch what you're putting in your brain holes.
Watch what you're putting in your brain holes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah, we will keep harping on that because I think it's such an important message, and there's never an end to the way to talk about it either.
Mhm.
So, same bat time, same bat channel. You guys have a great night.
Good
Bye.
night, y'all. Bye.